So our topic for today is what types of research you may need to do as a nursing student and as a nurse, and making sure that we have quality sources of information. As students, we also need to cite where we got our information. So we're going to cover source types, scholarly sources and popular sources, and when we might need to use each, library databases like CINAHL. Most scholarly research is not available for free. Library databases are how you can access that paid content as a student, and CINAHL is the nursing-specific database. Evaluating sources, how we can tell if a source is credible, sufficiently recent, and appropriate to our needs. And lastly, APA citations. When you cite outside sources in your work, you need to cite where you got it from, and in nursing, we're going to use a specific style for citations called APA. So let's start with talking a bit about source types. In school, a lot of the information that you are learning is in textbooks. Textbooks are one type of source and a very important one, but textbooks don't cover everything you may need to know. So when you're asked to write a paper or a discussion post about a specific disease or a body system, or working on care plans for specific patients, you will need to pull in additional information to support your work. Scholarly sources are a type of source written and used by nursing professors and researchers and working professional nurses. Some scholarly journal articles represent original research. That means the authors undertook a research study, rigorously documented their findings, discovered something relevant, wrote up what they found, and submitted it for peer review and publication. Other nursing journal articles are called review articles, where the authors summarize other research and give a snapshot of current best practices. The rigorous editing and review process makes scholarly journal articles more trustworthy and accurate than other types of sources. Sometimes this makes them the best kind of source, but not always. We'll talk more about that in a bit. Let's look at some example scholarly journal nursing articles so that we can learn more about them. The first article, Implementing Enhanced Patient Education for Surgical Site Infection Prevention and Cardiac Surgery, is an example of a research article. We can tell in several ways. The abstract. The abstract is a summary of the whole article. By reading it and looking for some key phrases, we can tell right away whether this is an original research article or not. Here it says, the purpose of this study, then gives the methods, or the way the study was done, and some data about their findings. Finally, they give a conclusion about what they learned, the new information discovered through the study. Some other clues are the fact that there are many authors, research studies are done in teams, and the long and very specific title. Take a moment to scroll through the article. You don't need to read it, but look at the structure and the headings. These are classic features of a scholarly research article. Labeled sections, detailed description of the methods, specific elements of the study, charts and graphs of data. When you are looking at a scholarly research article, you want to know what they discovered. What is the takeaway that I can use in my paper, my discussion post, or later in your work as a nurse? This information is found in the discussion section, sometimes also called the conclusion. This section is where the researchers interpret their findings and give you the point. It's a good practice to read the abstract and then skip to the end and read the discussion. This will give you the basics of the research and why it is important. If you need or want more information, you can always go back and read the inside, but most of the time it isn't needed to understand the takeaways. Now let's take a look at the second article, Challenges of Managing Patients with Chronic Edema and Leg Ulceration. This article also has an abstract, but instead of talking about the study, they are citing other articles. Whereas with the research article, we skipped to the discussion/conclusion for takeaways, a review article is all takeaways. It is designed to bring the reader quickly up to speed on a given topic. So you can imagine how useful that can be as a student and as a clinician. As you scroll through this article, you will notice how many citations there are. All of these parentheses are citations for scholarly research articles like the one you just looked at. Essentially, this author has done a ton of work for you, researching and reading all the relevant articles on a topic and presenting them as best practices for you to use. If you want more information, you can use the references list at the end of the article to look up those individual scholarly research articles that this author based their article on. So, to sum up, nursing journals will have a variety of article types within them. Scholarly research articles present original research studies with lots of details and data. Read the abstract and conclusion to quickly get the main takeaways. Review articles provide a summary of many research studies, not as detailed, but designed to be practical and useful. Okay, so now we know a bit about what nursing journal articles are and why we would want to use them, but how do we find them? A small percentage of scholarly journals are available for free on the web, but most of them are behind paywalls because journal subscriptions are not free. In fact, they're incredibly expensive. As a student, you have access to literally millions of journal articles in our library databases that you would not otherwise be able to access without paying. To access our library databases, go to the library website, edmonds.edu/library. Click on Databases. From here, you can see a list of databases that we subscribe to. ProQuest and Academic Search Premier are great general databases with scholarly journal and other types of articles. They both include many medical biology journals and will be useful for you to know about. But today we're going to focus on another database called CINAHL, which is an allied health focused database that your nursing department chose. The link for CINAHL is under the letter C. When you click on it, you'll be prompted to log in with your Triton ID and password. Please note this is a separate account from your CTC Link account. Due to the expensive nature of medical journals, CINAHL can only be used by 4 students at a time. So occasionally, when you click on it, you may see a message that the user limit is maxed out and to try again later. If that happens, you can try your searches in ProQuest or Academic Search Premier until you're able to access CINAHL. You won't have access to the exact same list of journals, but often you can still find relevant information. This limit does not usually cause a problem, but please email me if there are any issues. In any of these 3 databases, you will start at the advanced search screen, which will have search boxes at the top and limiters, search filters below. In general, the first thing to do is to check the full text box in any database. That will limit your results to articles that we have paid to access so that you can read them online right now. Then you want to think about search terms. In CINAHL, all of the journals included are allied health focused, so you can just search for the key topics you're looking for. If you're using one of the more general databases, it's a good idea to add a keyword like nursing, clinical setting, or healthcare, depending on what you're looking for. So here in Academic Search Premier, if I do a search for wounds, I'm going to get many thousands of results, most of which may not be relevant to my work as a nurse. I could add nursing as a keyword, which significantly reduces my results to a more relevant list. To get an even more targeted list, I could make my keywords more specific, like wound care nursing, or even more specific, like diabetic wound care nursing. In CINAHL, I could do wound care or diabetic wound care and start off with a list of articles just for healthcare professionals. In either database, I will find useful articles. If you need or want only scholarly journal articles, use the source types limiter over on the left-hand side of the results screen. The publication date limiter is also really helpful as we want to make sure our information is recent. Try limiting to the last 3 or 5 years to get up-to-date information. How to access, save, and cite articles in the databases. When you find an article that you want to use as a source, there are great features in the database. To read the abstract and get more information about the article, click on the title. On this page, you can see all the relevant details, the authors, journal title, date, and the subjects covered in the article, with the abstract below. If you read the abstract and want to know more, click on the PDF link to read the full article. If there's no PDF link here, it probably means that you forgot to check the full text box and the article isn't available to read online, so make sure to go back to your results page and do that. Here is the PDF of the full article. Remember, from the abstract, we should be able to tell if this is a research study or a review or something else. In this case, it's a case study, which is a type of research study that focuses just on one situation or patient. We can skip to the discussion conclusion to get our main takeaways and decide if this source is relevant to our needs. If so, you may want to save the article to read in full later. To do that, you can download the PDF using this button and save it to your computer. Or you can copy-paste this permalink. I recommend that you save the PDF, however, in case you want to look at it later and CINAHL is unavailable due to usage limits. Do not copy-paste the URL from the URL bar. It will not work later. Only use the permalink, or better yet, download the PDF. The other really helpful thing on this page is the citation generator. In each database, you can click the Cite button to get a computer-generated citation in a variety of formats. Remember, in nursing, we're going to use APA citations, so I can scroll to APA and copy-paste this citation. Since it is computer-generated, we don't want to use this without checking it first, but it's a great start. More on citations later, but remember where the Cite button is to make your life a lot easier. Okay, so those are the basics of the databases. For your assignment, you will be practicing searching in the databases for scholarly articles, finding some, downloading them, and writing citations. So you may need to review these parts of the video when you're completing the assignment. And of course, you can reach out to me for help at any time.